And we're back again. Still taking some days off. And again, with the summer going on for the Lakers, going to be a long one. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I talk about the concerns for Xbox, which I'm going to have to talk about more on the Friday show if TJ Johnson and I can get together, because there's a lot of stuff going on with Xbox. Not all of it's good. Not much of it's good. After that absolutely fantastic showcase, it's gone downhill from there. So we talk about some of the concerns and statements that have been made coming out of Xbox, plus also as well, we look at the opening weekend for Disclosure Day and if it was a success or not so much of a success for Steven Spielberg. And also as well, we take a look at the sensation from the literary world of Dungeon Crawler Carl and how it could be coming to a larger audience near you as well. So we talk about that on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also as well, I'm on every single morning with Lakers Latest. So go ahead and check it out on the Lakers Latest channel, part of the Fan Arc Network. I'm on there, so you guys get plenty of me in my off time from away from the Lakers Fast Break, because still got to bring you something each and every time out. I'm still a podcasting guru. I'm still the podfather. I'm just podfathering in some other places, like Lakers Latest. So go ahead and check me out there on a daily basis, talking about the Lakers and the NBA right there for you as well. I've got an NBA observations for this channel coming up here tomorrow. I've actually already taped it, and members will be able to see it here in the not too distant future. In fact, I'll post it probably while Joe goes on one of his diatribes. So with that said, tomorrow sometime you will actually be able to go ahead and see my latest conversation with Caleb Ponce as we get closer and closer and closer to the NBA draft and free agency as well. And until you read my mind. I mean, basically, that's what you're committing to. And if you want to hear my conversations and you are a member, you'll get to hear it with Caleb Ponce, or like I said, sometime tomorrow as well. You'll actually be able to go ahead and hear something like what Intel Wild, and truly appreciate the super chat, is saying right now. Run it back, same team next year, 46 wins, it's all good. Because that's basically what you're asking for. It's 45 to 55 wins, and you're out middle of May. There you go. That's basically what you're setting yourself up for. If that's what you're happy with, that's what you're most likely are going to get when you're bringing the gang back together, especially this gang indeed. So yeah, attaboy, Rob, attaboy indeed. Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, we'll go ahead and talk about that plus so much more on NBA observations with Caleb Ponce coming up here. I'll show that for you as far as that's concerned tomorrow, or if you remember, later tonight. And then speaking of which, Legend, I haven't even talked to Legend, my friend, who was vacationing, I heard, on a villa in the south of France. Is that rumor correct?
Oh man, I wish I was there right now.
Okay, because I heard you were parting with our Zoom executive, John Costa, who conveniently I've been trying to contact but have not heard from. Wonder what's going on there, Legend. I don't know. We're a Zoom executive. Hoity-toity is the way we used to say it back in the days. As far as guess I'm too good for us. What would you call me? A schlepper, a slummer, whatnot? I don't know. What would you call me? Because I'm not good enough for John Costa anymore, the Zoom executive that he is. But I'm glad you're here, my friend. Legend. Let me know if this time works for you. I will say it to you on the air, because Thursday we will have a live special. I'm hoping you're available 7 p.m. your time, 4 p.m. mine.
Yep, I am available.
Sweet. Okay, that's great, because I've got you lined up. I've got Matt John lined up, and I've got Caleb Ponce lined up. I'm hoping to get more, maybe a draft expert, and maybe someone to run more teams, because on Thursday, we have a live special for you guys out there. if we
Completely.
were running our favorite NBA teams through the draft and through the off season, how would our teams look going into training camp? That's what we're going to go ahead and do. We'll be doing mock trades. We'll be doing mock signings, free agency. Be doing mock drafts, the whole 9 yards. Coming up on Thursday, it's going to be a wild scene if we ran our teams on Thursday as well. So absolutely looking forward to it indeed. Legend's going to be running Atlanta, Golden State. I'll be running the Lakers. Matt John will be running Utah and Boston. And Caleb Ponce will be running the Oklahoma City Thunder. If there are any more interested parties, please email me or contact me immediately because it's going to happen here on Thursday night. Indeed, I had to bump it up because I'm heading out of town Sunday to Tuesday, so I'll be coming back just in time, though, Legend, for Tuesday night. I'll be back just in time for our live NBA draft show on Tuesday as well. So
I actually forgot the draft was like right here nearby. It came so quick.
it did indeed. It's a week away as you and I are speaking here. Actually, less than a week away now because it'll be on Tuesday early evening, and I am looking forward to it indeed. But again, just hopefully I'm bringing stuff to you guys. I know we've been taking some time off on this channel, throwing you a little bone here or there with an NBA observations and whatnot, and I've got more of those on the way. Got another one planned with Matt John. We'll see if I can sneak one in with Legend. I'll see how my schedule goes. So between that and live shows, we're throwing some good stuff at you right here at the Lakers Fast Break as well. So don't say we're not doing nothing because I've heard some people complain, "What aren't you guys on 7 days a week still?" It's like, well, as I said before, Legend, it's the NBA off season. None of these NBA channels after the draft and free agency really make a whole lot of money. August is dead.
Everybody's on vacation time pretty much at this point.
And especially, if Lakers or Atlanta, Golden State, the casual audience, they leave those type of shows like ours, whatnot. The audience just drops naturally. So again, we're just trying to do what we can. They come back around for the draft. They come back around for the start of free agency, and then kind of drifts off a little bit at summer league, which we'll still be here for, and then kind of just drift off.
Hoping to go to that next year. I really want to go to summer game next year.
I hope I'll be here waiting for you, my friend. Unless I melt in this 111-degree sun right now, I hopefully will be here indeed to go ahead and man, I would just be so thrilled to have you here, my friend. Dinner is on me if that's going to be it. You get to here to Vegas indeed. But it is, of course, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Yes, Joe Soro is expected to be here. He was growling that he wanted to go on at 10, so I programmed it for 10. And of course, after I programmed on at 10, he growls and says he wants to go on at 9 because the Dodger game ended. And I said, sorry, you already wanted 10. We go on at 10. So be that as the case, wouldn't you know, Legend, my availability for a night show came to being on the same day. Reports are out there. Might want to hold on to the desk or something. Reports are out there that LeBron James, according to Brian Windhorst and several others, is negotiating for a return to the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh my God, that hurt.
Yeah, he ain't coming to Golden State. I don't want it. This day. I'm good. Woo, pop the champagne now. I'm all right then.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. 805, what's going on? Intel, always great to have you here. Thank you again for the super chat. You should do just a Dodgers Fast Break show. I am a casual fan of the Dodgers, as I said. They are my team once again after it was my childhood team. That's up to Joe. I would have to have on Joe every single day. And now doing 162 shows, you've got to have a baseline for that. That's a tough thing, 805. You have to commit to that. You have to commit to, I mean, we talk about the Lakers, Legend. That's 81 games right there.
Games.
Yeah, this is 162 with the baseball. So, man, that's tough. That's tough.
A lot.
Yep, there you go. It's a wild shout out to Gerald Legend. MF Joe sucking on those Dodgers boobies. Intel, you're the best, my friend. So be that as it may, Legend, as hard as it was for me to say, I'm not surprised.
I'm
I
not
mean,
either.
we already heard the feelers, and of course, when Rob Pelinka at his closing press conference said, well, he's always welcome back. We will leave the door open. We'll leave it up to him, et cetera, et cetera. That's a setup to say, well, it's not that we don't want you, but we'll take you back if we want you. But what price is the question. So I ask you, Legend, if he is indeed negotiating, which JSJ says, is Brian Windhorst, so he doesn't believe him. Again, it's just reports, rumors, innuendo. We've heard quite a bit of that in the recent days. What do you see wrong with this picture? Because again, that's not even the funniest thing when it comes to LeBron. The funniest thing I heard was a Bleacher Report that they did a poll that said 55% of Lakers fans want LeBron back. And I'm like saying, not on my channels that I run. They don't. That's not a 55% deal. So I ask you, Legend, your thoughts on LeBron James possibly negotiating for a return back to the Lakers.
I definitely say I'm not surprised. I kind of figured that out of all the teams, to me, it was either Cleveland or LA. And most likely you want to stay in LA. That's where all your business is at. Understandable. To me, it is about the price. You got to get the money part right. Personally, if it was me, he still got a lot of talent left in the tank. No doubt about that. But I also would slowly just slide the little piece of paper on the desk and be like, when do we want to start advancing on? Can't hang in the past forever. So at some point we gotta end this ride at some point, Almost like being with the ex-girlfriend, you finna get married and you like, honey, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep sneaking around. We gotta end this at some point. We can't keep doing this. I'm gonna get caught up at some point. We gotta end this. It's like that situation. And that's how I feel like it with LeBron. He still can play, he still got talent, but at some point, I gotta take them keys from you. And even though Luka already got the keys, I want him to have the whole house now. I need you to go on and get your own place. You gotta leave daddy and mommy house at some point. Kind of like in that situation. You gotta at some point move on. At some point. So if it was me, yeah, let him come back. This need to be the last one now. This gotta be it. Got to be.
I think you could probably guess or judge this better than I can, especially being an outside observer. But in the past couple of years, I think we've been hard on LeBron as far as our thoughts and our opinions on Braun, the whole Brawny thing. But I think it's been fair. I think it's been legitimately. We call it out like we see it, and what we saw with the LeBron experience and also Bronny experience has been fair to quite a bit of extent. And conversely, when things were needed and he stepped it up without Austin and without Luca, we were also very fair to him as well, as far as praising him for how he acted, reacted, and how he played as a 41-year-old when it mattered the most in the postseason and late in the season as well. I think we've been very complimentary. I mean, you could tell us if we're wrong as an outside observer on all this, but you could tell us that that's the case. But I ask you, on top of that, Legend, as far as it's concerned, I've also said that while he has been the most productive 41-year-old player in the history of the NBA, and the stats bear it out, I still think it is time to cut the cord now. It is just time to let it go and move on. Just let's move on to a different chapter. You're still trying to create final pages in the book of LeBron for LA, and I just think it's already a closed book, and you just need to move on. Your thoughts on that, Legend? Again, I think we've been very fair as far as LeBron is concerned. I just think at some point in time, you just have to say it's time to let it go.
Yeah, and I agree. I think at some point, you gotta move forward. LeBron still got a lot in the tank. You saw that. He still got some good play up in him. He really came clutch when you needed him when both your two best players, or however you want to say it, one of your top three best players, two of your top three best players went down. He came clutch. He helped tremendously in that Houston Rockets series. But at some point, you got to try to move on. You can't continue to stick around with the past and all that. You got to move forward at some point. Just like literally just told my little cousin going to college, hey, you're gonna have to get a job at some point. It's getting to that point. Your mom and dad, they're gonna still help you, but at some point you got to start taking responsibility for yourself too. And that's kind of how I look at it in this situation with LeBron. Nothing wrong with want to still keep him around and want to do one more season. Cool, but this probably need to be the last one because you got to move on at some point. Luka already got the keys to the team. It's his team. I don't. You need to get your own house now. We need to be in different houses. We don't need to keep, being roommates and all that. I want my own house. It's kind of in this situation. I'm Luka. I want my own house at some point. It got to be it. It got to end at some point. Can't keep dragging out forever. So this really should be the last hurrah. Go out with a bang. Everybody move their separate ways. That's how it should be. That's how it's supposed to flow. It's supposed to be in the transitioning time period, and you got to move on at some point. You got to let them have it.
JSJ also says Golden State is rumored to be the second choice for LeBron. So beware, legend indeed.
I'll be the first to say if he come over there, I'm done for the season. I'm out. I'm done.
Again, I just think it's just time to move on. I just think if you have LeBron there, it's just taking you away from the a better process moving forward, and you're just like delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. But also here today, good man indeed. He returns to us. He is not AI, according to Intel Wild. He is actually reality, and because AI doesn't eat, and he's eating. So there you go. Indeed, it is the guy behind the Joe Soro experiment. He had a show the other night. Hopefully, you'll be able to catch it as far as it's concerned on the repeat right there on YouTube. At Drip Show Shop, wherever you get your social media. Should we prepare for? Oh yes, running it back. Yes, the running it back indeed is definitely a possibility. Drip Show, absolutely indeed. It is of course Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. The latest Lakers rumors of the day, from reported by ESPN and others, are stating that LeBron and your favorite of mine, Clutch, are currently negotiating with the Lakers, or at least in conversations about a possible return back to the Lakers. Did the words "oh joy, oh joy, oh joy" come across your heart when you saw that or read that on the internet?
I don't really believe anything on the internet. There may be some merit to it, but I don't really care what any of these guys say. They've been pretty much wrong for a few years now, whenever they do say something. The important part about the near future is the draft. We need to see if they can hit on a difference maker at 25, which is going to be very difficult. And then which free agent are they going to acquire, even if they do keep Austin Reeves and Rui and those guys. Although I think if they end up keeping Austin, I believe Rui will be gone. I don't have any really feelings on any of it. I really don't. I don't. If LeBron is a better acquisition than what they can get out there, and he does what he did in the last half of the season, I'm willing to wait another year to see what he can do. But that's a decision that they're going to have to figure out, meaning the new regime. But looking at how things have played out in the finals, I'm starting to believe that there's a certain way that you need to play in order to win a championship, and that certain play is changing year in and year out. It's not a consistent thing anymore. You look at how Mike Brown offenses work. It's not really rocket science. You had someone who was the clear one and who was really a two on the Knicks. They didn't really have a two. Karl Anthony Towns was someone who took a back seat and played better defense than he ever had in his entire career. And
he played well in the opening games, but as it
Yeah.
went on, he started to
probably because
be less of a factor.
started getting tired and going, man, this isn't my game. But he did it enough to where they were able to win. But again, he scored 2 points. That's not a star to me in any game. I don't know. It's weird. I'm pretty confident that if Oklahoma, I felt pretty comfortable in saying that the Knicks were a better matchup against the San Antonio Spurs than they would have Oklahoma City. If Oklahoma City makes the finals, I'm pretty confident that Oklahoma City wins that series. I think they matched up
Totally
better.
agree.
So San Antonio was the perfect matchup for the Knicks so that they could take advantage of the fact that they have young players that haven't been tested yet. Some came through, some didn't, some really didn't. I mean, when you look at Castle and De'Aaron Fox, 4 of 25. Imagine if they had gone 8 of 25, they would have won the game. That's a bad stat in so many ways. And Wemby, unfortunately, is not physical enough to handle the big games. Might be his youth, but I think reality is telling me that's not going to change much. I don't see him become this force down low, which I could not figure out why Mitch Johnson couldn't figure out a way to get Wemby the ball deeper into the paint. That's really what he needed to do, because he needed someone that could get a basket when they needed it. And when you have someone who's 7'6" and has arms as long as he has and the ability that he has, I could not figure out why San Antonio could not. Wemby needed to be the 5th ace, the ace of a pitching staff in this scenario, since you guys have been talking about the Dodgers and baseball before I got on. What always helps having an ace on a team is every 5th day, traditionally, he stops the problem, because no one can hit off Kershaw in his prime. No one can hit off Maddox or Glavine or Pedro, whoever. And that allows a team never to have a losing streak that's too debilitating. Wemby needed to be the guy that stopped the run, and he needed to be the guy that could get you a basket immediately, and they could not do that. Maybe it wasn't Mitch's problem. Maybe he did devise a plan, but Wemby didn't execute it. And that's something that I took away from this finals is I saw a star. He is a star, but he didn't play like a star. And in just saying that he's young and he couldn't, it's his first finals. I'm not buying that, because that's a fundamental thing that he didn't do. He didn't use his size, his speed, his length, and the team did not devise a smart enough plan to get him better opportunities to get to the basket as close as possible, so that instead of having De'Aaron Fox or Stephon Castle have to take a 20-footer because they're guarding the threes pretty well and missing those shots and creating more runs for the Knicks, now this is the place that you were in. You led by double digits in every single game in the finals. You cannot lose 4 out of those 5, and you cannot lose 3 of them at home. San Antonio turned into the Toronto Blue Jays at home. They couldn't win a game at home, even when the game was basically handed to them. The Knicks were handing it to them, and they weren't taking it. Why? Because you couldn't get your star who is equipped. This isn't, we're not asking Jalen Brunson to go to the basket. You're asking 7'6", 10-foot wingspan in his youth of all youth to get a basket when you need one. It's unacceptable. I saw Kobe Bryant win championships at 21, 22, and 23. And last time I checked, he wasn't 7'6" and can run like a deer and shoot from outside and do all that. Wemby and the Spurs blew it more than I probably could say any team blew it in a long time. I could say maybe the last San Antonio team that lost this tragically, which was in 2013. Bad decisions by Pop, a horrible series by Manu that should have won them the 2013 championship. And this was worse in a lot of ways because they owned this series. They had this series in their pocket. This probably should have been a sweep, at least a gentleman's sweep. But they couldn't get Wemby the ball, and they couldn't get him to the basket enough to get the ball in the basket. So how that correlates with the Lakers? Well, the Lakers have a guard that does what Jalen Brunson does. As a matter of fact, he does it better than Jalen Brunson. So do you build now between now and the deadline maybe next year? Do you build a team that can kind of have the same working parts as the Knicks? But will that win you next year? Will that win you a championship next year? I don't know. Probably not. So the LeBron thing, I'm kind of torn by it because I'm trying to think intelligently on this. Just letting it go, like turning the page, makes a lot of sense. But who are you going to replace him with? This isn't Andrew Luck replacing Peyton Manning. That's right. So if let's say, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say Giannis is a free agent this year. Yeah, of course you're not going to sign LeBron. You're going to go after Giannis. You're like, LeBron, sorry, man. We gotta go get Giannis. He's a free agent. But there's no one in this freaking free agent class that is close to close to anything like that. We're having debates about, is Austin Reeves worth the max? The fact that you're asking that question is not good. He is not a max player, and he never was. A 4-year, $180 million contract is probably what I would pay him. I don't think I'd want to pay him any more than that. He'll get more if they decide to make a deal, but I don't want him to be the second highest paid player in this team when you go into the next season. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And he'll have good at regular season games, and he'll do all that. But I've seen enough of Austin Reeves in the playoffs. He's limited, and he can't be your second best player. And then LeBron, even if he's back, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the second best player either. There really wasn't a second best player in this run. And the difference between the Knicks versus the Lakers, because I know some people were asking, well, Joe, doesn't it sound like that they kind of have the – no, because the Knicks actually play defense, at least, and they're young. They're young and they can play defense. The Lakers have youth, but none of them can play defense. And then when they don't have youth, there's not enough youth. Really, it's only Luka and a couple of guys that might be coming up. But it's a lot of working parts here. But I want it to be very clear on the fact that there isn't really a structure right now that you can say, all right, this is what the Lakers need to do this summer, and then they'll have a chance to win a championship. Obviously, you want to get a 3-and-D player. Obviously, you want to get better and younger. Yeah, but I'm still kind of in shock at how the Knicks won a championship this year. Because I saw their team. I wasn't impressed by it. Like, initially, I'm like, really? This is going to be a team that's going to go on a 16-3 run? I don't think even Knicks people thought that. So the NBA has gotten what it's wanted. It's turned into the NFL. This is the 8th champion, and not a repeat champion in any of those 8 years, too. It's been 8 different teams the last 8 seasons. That has never happened in the NBA in the history of its existence. since 1946, since its beginning, there has never been a time where there have been 8 different, and none of those 8 had like one in 2022, then one in 2026. No, every single year is a different team. Think about it. You had the Raptors, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Warriors, Denver, Boston, Oklahoma City, and then the Knicks. Pretty remarkable. They turned it into the NBA into an average league. Worse than the NFL, by the way, because at least in the NFL, if you have a good quarterback, you're gonna win championships more than you wouldn't.
Once again, it is a Lakers snack pack right there for you. Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell, the experiment legend from iGuide Next Sports Media, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again
Okay,
for
hold
watching.
on.
Oh, I knew you were going to see it. I wasn't going to say
Every time
anything.
Joe hates on Austin, he
Oh,
is the best number 2. This guy's got to be trolling.
When did you
He's
mention
the
Austin?
best number 2 in the NBA
conversation?
for Luka. Austin has proved himself every season that he is worth the money.
Oh boy.
That was my next subject to talk about, legend. But yeah, I don't think you
Proved
ever
what?
mentioned it in your
What's proved
thing
what?
that you just talked about.
It's got to be a troll thing. There's no way that's
Well,
real.
James Hex has been a troll. He's been a troll for a while. But we love pooping on him because he's always wrong.
And that's the problem with current society. And again, society's always been dumb. It's just we know more about it now because we have access to it. But you can't state facts without some Nimrod thinking you're hating. Who the hell wants Austin to be great more than Laker fans? And I get it. Believe me, I've been criticizing Dodger fans all day today, of all people. Got into an argument with stupid idiots that are Dodger fans, talking about how a player has one bad week and right away it's their wash, they suck, trade them. Like, grow the fuck up. Seriously, grow up. You can't say anything without somebody saying that you're hating on them. Morons. When I criticize, it doesn't mean I hate them. You know who I hate? Draymond Green. I can't stand that motherfucker, okay? Draymond Green I hate. Can't stand him. Because he's a studio gangster. He needs a Shawn Michaels kick to the face. That's what he needs. Actually, to the throat would be better. So, you know that because I just said it. I don't hate Austin Reeves. I don't hate Jalen Brunson. I don't hate LeBron James. I don't hate these guys if I say something that's not 100% in support of them. But the reality is Austin Reeves sucks in the playoffs, just like your post sucks. And those are facts. It's not hate. It's a fact. It's not fantasy. And that's the problem with societies. They live in fantasy. Every time they see something they don't like, what do they say? Oh my God, AI, Skynet's going to be built. Guys, you stupid idiots. Movies are not real. Movies are not real. You do know that, right? They were talking about flying cars 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We barely have fucking cars that work, let alone fly. Now, I can't buy a brand new vehicle without 400 different bells and whistles on it now. But we're going to have flying cars. So get your head out of a jackass's ass and grow up. And understand that this is a results business, more so than probably anything out there, sports. Because sports, while owners want to make money, the audience doesn't give a shit about money. They care about winning. And right now, The only thing that Austin Reeves is winning at is playing golf on the off season and being friends with Luka Doncic, because he ain't doing shit when it matters. That's a fact. Yeah, I can call it a soapbox, or you can just call it commentary about what's going on. See, that's another stupid comment.
Legend, again, LeBron, according to the rumors and speculation, negotiating, which may end up not meaning necessarily that he would come back to the Lakers. Legend, so you're not totally out of the woods or safe on that yet. Yes, just because negotiating also means that you might not get the price that you like. So with that said, the Lakers also have more negotiating, possibly with one Austin Reeves, James Hex's favorite player on the planet, seemingly based on his comments. And I've been very clear, actually more than Joe, because I've been more clear, because I've said it repeatedly on the show. I'm not in love with signing Austin Reeves to a 5-year, $241 million deal, or even what, let's just say they sign him to a deal comparative to what he could get out there from Brooklyn or Chicago or from another team, 4 years, $180 million as far as that deal. Let's just say they do that. It's still, again, those are prices for a player whose expectations will immediately change when he signs and makes whatever deal he makes. So that is the possibility. We've heard in recent days that his team is going to be pushing for a max. We've heard in recent days that Brooklyn is eyeing a possible charge at Luka, at Austin, as far as concerned. The thing is, it just seemingly looks more and more like on the whiteboard Rob Pelinka has bringing the band back together. And like we talked about, Legend, if you keep it running back, Intel said it earlier, you're talking about a team 45 to 50 wins and you're out by May. It's just that simple. Now, again, if you decide to go in a different direction, you have a different amount of ways you can go, good or bad, but at least you'll have the options. But it looks more and more like the writing is on the wall for the Lakers this offseason as far as the main core of three is concerned.
It definitely does feel like that's what looking like might happen. They need to tweak the roster. You really shouldn't bring the entire band back together, because just like Intel just said, probably win about 45. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 50, probably 50 games, and you're gonna get bounced second round, maybe even first. You never know what happens. You never will know what happens. It won't be no finals, that for sure. And that's not what you should be aiming for. They got to tweak the roster. You can't bring the band back together. If you won a championship and did that, that's one thing. But when you get bounced in either first, second round, you should not bring the band back together. If you lost in the conference finals, maybe you want to try to run it back and see if things different. Okay, I might can accept that part. Finals, definitely run it back. You got that far. See how your luck goes. But first and second run exit, no, you should not run it back. It's pretty obvious your team's just not good enough. It's pretty obvious there are some holes or some type of issue with this roster. Bringing everybody back is just not the right game plan. And Austin Reeves, I'm not surprised. He's gonna get that max. He's looking for that max. Agent doing his job on that part. That's what you're supposed to do. Bring me the money. That's what you're supposed to do. But as an organization, you gotta do what's best for your team.
But Legend, let me say this, that beloved first year, the Lakers can put them on a $21.9 million cap hold. And if, when you do that to sign your own free agents, you can go above that amount, and anything above and beyond 21.9 won't count against your cap for the next season. That's what I get told ad nauseum in regards to that cap, that beloved first year. The problem is, Legend, if you sign him to a 4 or 5 year contract, that cap hold, that benefit, that savings does not translate for the next few years. He then becomes really a 35, 45, $48 million player, legit, that he has to live up to. And that's the part I'm not sure that he's capable of doing.
Yeah, that's Gerald. I'm the same way. That's the part where I'm like, I can't give him the max. I just can't. Like I seen he gotten better and better. I give him props on that. He's done good. Like he don't have some really good regular season. He's got better and better and better every year. But you haven't showed up in the playoff, man. When the team needs you the most, you know where to be seen, man. That's what have happened. I can't really hold that against him this year because he's been hurt. He was hurt in the playoff. So be it. Was he great in the Thunder series? No, not really. But it's kind of been the same old, same old. Play good in the regular season, put up some nice numbers, go in the playoff, and just struggle, stink it up, however you want to say it. I would be worried about giving that max contract because I don't know if he can live up to that. To me, if they give you that max contract, we're basically looking at you as the second best player on this team. I need you to play as the second best player, not just in the regular season, but in the playoff too. And if you can't do it in the playoff, that contract gonna start looking really bad. It's gonna start looking bad, and you kind of screw yourself at that point because you kind of banking and praying that this guy's gonna turn into a true second best player. I just don't trust it. Haven't seen enough to trust it. Like I said, I respect his agents trying to get him the max money. That's your job. You're supposed to do that. But if I was an owner, I'm gonna tell him straight in his face, hell no, I ain't giving it to you. I can't, buddy. I'm sorry. Brooklyn, what they got to lose? What they got to lose over there? I got a lot to lose. They don't. They trying to sell tickets. Hey, do what they got to do over there. I'm trying to win here. This ain't it, man. If I have to, I will show you what you did in the playoff on this big, beautiful screen TV I got in this office. This is what you did. You tell me this is a max player or not. You tell me. Nah, I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry. No.
Joe, James Hex, gotta love this guy because he just sees through everything, live with a warped mind. But he says, quote, "You guys are ridiculous. The Lakers' key players were injured all season." Huh. The stats don't bear that out. They played right in and around 60 games each, according to what the stats say. But okay. LeBron early, Austin mid, and Luka and Austin in the playoffs. Well, that's not all season. So, all right, right there, your statement's incorrect. If they were all healthy, they're in the Western Conference Finals. Facts, Joe. I'll just say this, Joe. James Hex, probably should get tested for drug use. B, you have a future in politics, the way you bend reality like you do. Because absolutely, I could see you on Capitol Hill saying, I'm not really going to answer your question. I'm going to throw some other like 10 minutes worth of nonsense and just throw that at you and not really answer your question, which was a simple yes or no question. But I like bending reality to my will and going ahead and telling you how I think it is, even though it's absolutely not true to 90% of the public out there. But that's okay. That's okay indeed. So, Joe, with that said, bringing back Austin obviously is a key to James. And you know what? If you're a big Austin fan, great. The problem is, Joe and I committing to him at a price yet to be determined may not be the best course or best path that we have chosen.
Yeah.
Well.
And if I looked like Brad Pitt, I'd be a movie star too.
Mm-hmm. So you're bending reality to your will.
If Austin's healthy, meaning every year we have this discussion, if he was healthy, if he could shoot, if he didn't have a farmer's tan every summer before training camp, if. This is 3 years of ifs. I think we've ifed enough. The only time you if is saying, well, if the Lakers get a 1 seed, if the Lakers get a 3rd seed, then that has a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, that'll hold more water in a discussion. But saying that if everybody was healthy when they're never healthy, why how is that our problem? How is that not allowing constructive criticism? Well, why aren't you healthy at the end of the year? How come the Knicks were healthy all year? How come Oklahoma City was healthy relatively? Almost everyone was healthy that mattered, really. So what are we supposed to do here? We're going to go every year waiting for everyone to be perfectly healthy before we make an assessment. We live in a society where constructive criticism that has merit, is looked on as hating. You are an idiot. You are a moron. And you have zero credibility. No, I don't block anybody, motherfucker.
That's on his channel. Me, I'm glad to do it. So
I don't block anyone. It's not my style.
on my channel, it is.
So
I can
go
block
fuck
you
yourself and everything that you have in your life. I don't block anyone. I ain't scared of any of you motherfuckers. None of you to block you. Go ahead and yap. That's all you got. That's all you got behind your phones and behind your TV, behind your screens. None of you have any fucking sack to say anything to anybody in their face. And you all know that. Yeah, it's a rant. That's what this show is for. To rant. To stupidity. To stupid comments. So call me a bozo because you're a pussy. You'll never say that in front of my face because you know what's going to happen, right? You know deep down what would happen. Hide behind your phone. Hide behind your phone. You created a name. You created something with my name in it. I own you. I own you mentally. And that's a fact.
Free
because I'm never going to put
his head rent free.
I'm never going to put your name in anything. I don't go give a fuck who you are. You got that, bozo? So it's again, in the end, it doesn't matter what you say about what's happened. We're watching every game. We know what we are watching. You've seen the results. You don't like what's going on? Go talk to Austin Reeves and see why he plays more golf in the summer instead of hitting jump shots. I'm not doing that. He's doing it. And you're seeing the results at the end of the year now, 3 years in a row. That's not a Joe Soro problem. That's not a Gerald Glassford problem. It's not even a you problem. It's an Austin Reeves problem because he's the one that's putting golf or whatever the fuck it is that he does in the summer ahead of getting better physically and performance-wise. This team needs him to shoot if he can't play athlete with the other athletes. That's how you bridge the gap. Do I need to put it in sign language so you can understand? We can't expect Austin Reeves to be Jalen Williams, Mikal Bridges athletically. He's not that. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, Austin needs to be faster. He can jump out of the building more. No, that would be stupid. That would be hating because that's not realistic. So how do you bridge the gap? What did Larry Bird do in the 80s against the Dominiques, the Bernard Kings, and those types? He beat him by smarts. He beat him by making shots. He beat him by IQ, above and beyond. Austin Reeves needs to do that, but he doesn't. His performance he's not available. And when he is available, he's not doing well because he's hurt. His body's not equipped to handle the rigors of an 82-game season, it looks like. He's not shooting well when he can shoot. What do you want me to do? You want me to pat him on the back because he scored 30 points in a game on December 16th? I don't give a fuck what the hell happened in December. I don't give a shit if he's averaging 30 points a game during the year. What's he doing when it matters? How many times are we going to watch the Lakers in the last series of a loss in the playoffs lose 4-0, 4-1, 4-1, 4-0? And then before then, there was no O. It was just O. How many times are we going to watch this and stupid morons come in and talking about hating? You want to lose? Then keep doing what you're doing so that you're not hating. Why would I hate Austin Reeves? Think of how stupid of a comment that is. Why would I hate on him? He's not performing. I'm telling you, he's not performing because of what he's not doing. It's obvious. He's not healthy enough. He's not making shots. And every time I hear about anything, it ain't talking about in the gym hitting shots. So what is it? What do you want me to say? Oh, it's okay, pal. Get him next time. Yeah, go be a fucking Charlotte Hornets fan then, if you want to look at shit that way. This is the LA Lakers. LA Lakers win championships or they lose. There is no, oh my God, they made a run. No, it's you win a championship or you suck. That's why they have 17 of those things up there. Boom.
805 ARPD. Would that kind of make a trend towards what we saw with the oldest Lakers team ever, like earlier this decade when they put out the 2015 All-Star team out there in 2022? Yeah, that's. I'm not sure I like that one, but yeah, if you want to get off money earlier, yeah, that's one thing. But yeah, that's still tough. But let me ask you this: speaking of trades, since you guys are on it, since we're talking about it in the chat, you guys are awesome in the chat so far. Outside of James Hex and this Bozo guy, whoever that guy was. By the way, I blocked you. Sorry. I don't have the same rules as Joe. I block when I please.
Yeah, see, that sucks for you. Bozo.
Exactly.
Wait.
So Legend,
I don't this is not my show, by the way, guys. It's his show.
Yes. He's got his own channel, which I promote. If you guys listen, it's the Joe Soro Experiment. It's the one where he looks like William Peterson out of CSI right there on there. Dead ringer for William Peterson circa 2006 or 7 on CSI. Dead ringer.
Now that CSI show, man, when Spike was still around, that thing got me by the throat. The first binge.
I know you said that.
The first binge watch I've ever had in my life. I was like, it was a 2-week off school and all that stuff. I was like, man, this show is awesome.
Yes, it is. I've seen over 100 episodes. Yep, I enjoy it thoroughly. Legend, let me bring it back in here. So the trades we've been talking about in the chat lead to one Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Lakers and your teams, Golden State, Atlanta, plus Miami, plus Boston. I mean, I've thrown in there San Antonio, OKC, Houston. A bevy of teams could be interested or are interested in trying to acquire his services. So with that said, where do you think, because I'm sure you're looking at what Golden State and Atlanta, the latest rumors as far as how well they fit into the mix. What do those teams, or which teams do you think may be able to be most successful in pulling off a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade? And do you think it'll happen on or before the NBA draft?
I want to say I think this thing gets taken care of before the draft. Wouldn't be surprised if over the weekend we get the bombshell or something doesn't happen. And something happened with Giannis at that point, that he got traded to wherever. But I'm thinking something's going to happen before the trade, before draft night. And it's tough. I want to say for my Hawks, I know we got some good pieces, but I know we're not in that Giannis mix. But I think we're in the midst of where we might can get something out of that trade when it happens. Like, I know I've seen a lot where people mention a 3-team trade, where it be Milwaukee, Celtics, and the Hawks all together. Celtics get Giannis. We get Jaylen Brown, which would be welcome back home, buddy, because he's from Marietta, Georgia. So you right, you back at home at that point. And then we move a lot of our young pieces on Milwaukee, whatever they want at that point. Except Jalen Johnson. We're not giving Jalen Johnson. No. Everybody else, pick your poison at that point. So I would be okay with that if that were to happen. But it looking like it's between Miami and Boston is what I keep seeing the most. But you never know. When we surprise someone else mentioned, OKC got some good pieces, but I don't think they're gonna do anything. They're probably gonna run it back or figure out what they want to do about the Chet situation. But most likely run it back. There's other team that got some good
Although
pieces.
it gets harder though in OKC because those contracts of those main three, two of them start to kick in. They are in the second apron. They actually, if they don't do anything, Legend them and Cleveland will be the most expensive teams in the NBA.
Yikes! Kiss them rookie contracts goodbye. But they probably gonna make some moves to try to come down a little bit. Which I'm expecting Lou Dort might be the one to be going somewhere else. But it looks like out of all the teams, though, it looks like he really wants to go to Miami, which is still kind of puzzling to me a little bit. Miami, to me, feels like Milwaukee Bucks 2.0. That one would feel a little odd if you go there. It looks like if anywhere to me that makes sense, that's most lines up at the most. He looks like he wants to stay on the East Coast. To me, there's only one team that makes the most sense. Probably Boston. I feel like that's probably makes the most sense if they're willing to move off of Jaylen Brown at that point. I don't know how things in Boston land after he did what he did on his podcast, but it looking like Boston might be the most best thing for him. But I keep hearing Miami. The Heat is where he really wants to be. That's what we keep hearing the most. But kind of interesting to see how the thing plays out.
It is Brian Green. It is To Live and Die in LA. The actual song. That's the name of the movie, of course, from that as far as back there. Great movie that was filmed in LA, but also the theme song was To Live and Die in LA by Wang Chung, to let you know. Just take it back. It's just in my head now that you mentioned it. But Joe, your man, James Hex, and again, if you want me to ban him, let me know because I'm happy to do so, or at least put him in timeout. As far as we've already done one tonight search, just to give you a heads up. But James says someone needs to explain to Joe. I don't know why he says I can say things, Legend can say things, but he always seems to have an issue with you, even for stuff that you didn't say on this particular show. It's just crazy. He's going back to conversations and statements that you've made before in the past, but okay, he lives in the past. Needs to explain to Joe that the NBA has parity today. This is not the era of 10 teams winning the title every other year. The players are better today. Facts, Joe. And he always puts those throw up emojis because maybe he just gets sick a lot or maybe just has digestive issues. I don't know.
What does that have to do with discussion about Austin Reeves?
I don't know. He just brings up these random things that you might have said weeks or months ago. And just, you live in his head rent free. You're living in the head of these haters rent free. It's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing.
They're masochists. They like to get criticized online. Some people are like that.
So let me go ahead and talk to you about what.
Yeah, that's it. I like hearing myself talk. That's why I do a show every 3 weeks. Good one there, bud.
Let me ask you this. And Spidey, if you want to put a question, just put it in the chat below. Same thing. Miles is probably good. Doesn't say. Yeah, well, whatever, Miles. I mean, we've been here for over 1,600 episodes. So yeah, keep it up. Man, the haters just come out. They just think they have nothing to do. So they're out.
Usually when it's a long layoff, that's when they show up.
Yeah, that's true indeed. But I'll just say this. Let me go ahead to what JY saying, because he says, are the Lakers prepared for losing AR, Braun, and Rui? What's the backup plan? I'm still thinking that 2 of the 3 will be kept, AR and Braun. I think Rui will be leaving. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing as far as the concern, because the fact he's such a good shooter in the postseason. I think that's an acquired skill. I think that that's going to attract a lot of teams, Joe. My preference would be to lose AR and Braun, but that's most likely not going to be the case. So what is the backup plan should that happen and all 3 are gone?
I find it impossible for that to happen. I feel like one out of the three will for sure be back. If Rui and LeBron are gone, I'm pretty confident that AR will be back. If LeBron comes back and Austin gets a killer deal from somebody else and it's too much, which 4 years at a max. I was talking to Jeff about this too. If he wanted 40 mil, I wouldn't give him a 5-year deal. I'd say, all right, I'll give you a $40 million contract, kind of like what they did with the Dodgers did with Kyle Tucker. They gave him a 4-year deal, high AV, basically high average per year. So give him 40 per for the first 3 years, and then have a team option in year 4. I'm going to take a wild guess here that the people that are actually running this thing, not Rob Pelinka, they'll be thinking in those realms, because if it was up to freaking Pelinka, he'd give everybody a player option, like the numbnuts that he is. So I would be okay with a 3-year deal with max money, but the 4th year needs to be a team option. That would be my compromise with him. Because then at that point, you do have some money that you can throw at a trade if that presents itself. And it buys you some time, maybe a little bit. I don't know. That's kind of the compromise. Again, it's about compromising the situation.
Because they can negotiate right now with Luka and AR. That as the end of the finals, as soon as that ends, you can negotiate with your own players, Joe.
Yeah.
I
don't see all three.
I was answering Arcarino's question.
Yeah, I don't see all three going. I just don't. I think if I had to take a pick, if I had to make a guess, I believe that LeBron will be back and Austin will be back. But Rui's gone. That's how it's going to play out.
Dameless says you don't think AR would accept 35 million. And Spidey, I got your question up there. You don't think he'll take 35 million?
He would if he's not getting. So if he gets a max deal from another team, it sets, let's say, 4 years guaranteed, because if he goes out, there's only a max of 4 years. He'll be getting what? 45 million?
48.5 million if the Lakers sign with the max. 45. I think, 44.5 or 45 if he signs with, let's just say, Brooklyn, and you don't do a sign and trade.
I would say keep it simple. Let him go and get the deal that the markets say what his worth is. If he is getting a max deal at 4 years, give him that. My only caveat is make the 4th year team option. I'm not giving you a 5-year, $48 million contract. I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm not. You're not that player. But I'll give you what the market says with one caveat. 4th year needs to be a team option. That's it. Simple as that. He don't want to take it. He wants to go somewhere else. He wants to go play in Brooklyn. He wants to go play in Chicago where they have money there. God bless you. Good luck. I hope you do well. But
just to let you know, Joe, if it works out, and let's just say Brooklyn does do that, and let's say on the slight chance they're interested in giving him a 5th year and a sign and trade as possible, you would get back a deal. The money would work out on this for MPJ and Day'Ron Sharpe in an Austin trade, sign and trade.
I don't want
both of those are expiring contracts. To let you know.
Yeah, I mean, I okay, but can I get some draft capital at least?
I mean, you're getting also 2 expiring contracts in the deal, so
I'd like to get at least a first out of it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I get a first?
You con them out there, by all means, absolutely.
Just get a first in there, and I do that deal. Try to get the Lakers need draft capital right now. They need to get some of that back.
No question.
And I do like Austin. I really do. He is a good player, but
at what point do you pay a good player?
Can't be the second best player on the team. If they want to pay him that much money to be the third or fourth best player, that makes a little bit more sense. But he cannot be the second highest paid player on this team and expect to win a championship. He's not the second best player on a team. He's not. The regular season doesn't mean shit. De'Aaron Fox won Clutch Man of the Year a few years back. I didn't even know they had that award when that came out, by the way. These participation awards, these things that continue to make normal people like us frustrated at why they exist. It's dumb. This it's just awards to have awards. It's nonsense. What the hell does that even mean? The most clutch player. How do you base that off anything? I remember they used to be Nimrods, like the guys that have been on the show today, talking about how, well, if you look at the percentages, LeBron hits 4.4 shots more per 48 minutes in the clutch versus Kobe's 3.6. And then I'd have to come back with, you ever look at a crowd? You ever look at the opposing team when Kobe gets the ball in the last minute? Everybody's ass is tight. Everybody's scared to death. Do you see that same thing with LeBron or De'Aaron Fox or any of these schmucks? The answer is no. Why is that? So, not to get too deep into that. I don't want to do that, especially when we're talking about asses. It didn't sound too good. But the thing is, you cannot have Austin Reeves be your second best player. That is a very clear and understandable assessment, especially considering we're watching anywhere between 80 to 82 games a year plus playoffs. I'd like to think we've watched enough basketball. And we're not, we're not those talking heads or the idiots out there like some of the people on the chat where you're just toxic all day, every day, yapping about nonsense. We're backing our shit up here. We're backing it up with facts of what's happened, not our facts, your facts, his facts. Performance. The performances. Watch the performance. Do you want me to get the statistics of the Oklahoma City Thunder series? How about the Houston series where Austin barely played and they won that series? How is that going to give you any idea that he's valuable, that they're still winning a series without him there, really? And you want to pay him max money to be your second best player on the team?
I'll just point to game 4 of the Oklahoma City series, Joe, where Austin Reeves got lit up by SGA for 35 points. That's a $48 million performance that you got out of Austin Reeves in game 4. I just have a hard time seeing that if that's the case. But Spidey, let me go ahead and answer your question with Legend. Spidey's asking, if Luka was healthy, what's the biggest difference in plays that JJ runs? He thinks that they would have swept the Rockets. I still think they would have been a 4-1 series. Yeah. I think you still give Houston a game. Picking sweeps is just so hard as far as it's concerned. There's just something that's always going to go wrong in it for each team, you think, in a 7-game series. But I could say it in 5. But with Luka in a playoff series, and then he adds on, and then round 2 versus OKC, how does each game go with a healthy Luka and Reeves? So again, seeing it how the Lakers would have been healthy, how do you see it for how they ventured into the playoffs with Houston and OKC?
Definitely with Houston, I think you beat them in 5. I still think they at least get at least one. Because like you said, Gerald, it's just hard to say about these sweeps. A lot of times it's just hard to predict. But going into that series, I think at least you beat them at least 4-1, get them a gentleman's sweep, and then you go to the Thunders. You wouldn't get swept. That for sure. You're not gonna get swept. I think they at least beat you. I think they beat the Lakers in probably 6. I still would probably go with the Thunder just because of I still feel like in the regular season, even though it wasn't like a blowout like those games, it presented some matchup issues. And that's the
Because
biggest
if you
thing.
said you have to have healthy Luka and AR, you would have to consider the same thing for OKC and have a healthy team for them as well.
It'd be the exact same thing. I know they wasn't completely healthy either, but I at least think Oklahoma will probably still win that series in like 6, at least. Just I don't think it would. I know for a fact Lakers not getting swept, but I think the Thunders will win that in 6, just because of it's just a matchup. I feel like that's what happened in a lot of these playoff games. It's matchup, and I think that's just a bad matchup in general for them wise. And that's the only thing I think really be different. So I think you still gonna go home in the second round, but not as fast. At least 6 games, maybe even 7. It's gonna be one of those two. But I think Thunder still end up winning that series just because of the matchup wise. And I think this is the thing that you're missing. That's the only thing I
I
really
just
think.
think, like you said, the talent for both teams. I mean, LeBron said himself that they were out talented was the exact word he used on his show in regards to the matchup against OKC. And even with Luca and AR, a healthy Luca and AR, if they have a healthy team as well on OKC, they just have so many different ways to beat you on the OKC side as well.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's just too much talent, too much lacking, and to me, the depth is just too much to beat, and it's just hard to make that up, knowing that even if you had Luca, your depth is still hurting at the end of the day, and that's kind of what happened in that series. A lot of the depth it showed a lot of difference when they can go to 10th and 11 man come in the game and give you 15. You can't do the same thing. Your best guys like 7 deep. It's kind of hard to deal with in that situation. So at least Luka will make the series be more interesting, but you're still gonna go home. You're still gonna go home just because of the lack of talent. Like LeBron said it right. It wasn't that you didn't go in this series and actually try. It wasn't nothing like that. It just the other team had more talent. That's pretty much what the situation was. The lack of talent was shown. I mean, you had AJ Mitchell out here looking like a superstar, out here cooking Austin Reeves left and right. You put that man on the grill, cooked him well done. It's pretty much what you kept seeing over and over. So that's them the type of things that Lakers got to go change in the offseason, which is why I say you should not run it back. Bring some pieces back, yeah, but you shouldn't run it back. I don't think you can do that. You need to make some changes to improve it. Get more athletic, get some more 3-and-D guys. Try to find you a better center if that's possible. But definitely get more athletic. That's to me one of the biggest things I can really circle on a paper. You got to get more athletic. Got to.
So let me ask you this, Joe. JY mentioned watching Jalen Brunson perform in the finals without complaining to the refs. Does Luka possess that ability? I don't know if he does, JY, because it's just innate with him as far as being able to just can't resist arguing with the refs. But let me ask you this, because and you could tie that into what JY was asking. Luka's time is now. He's in his prime now. What is the urgency if you're in the front office for the Lakers to build him a championship team with or without AR LeBron, but the urgency to build a championship or a winning path to that end sooner rather than later?
Well, the system right now doesn't allow much because player movement has been stagnant because of the setup. The pseudo hard cap has made it. It's gonna make it difficult for teams to get rich quick or get better quick. The Lakers are sort of in that boat, which is big names are going to have to make a choice next year. I don't think it doesn't look like Giannis is going to last another year to make his own decision. I'm going to say that even if nothing happens this summer, which I would be in shock, the Bucks would probably trade him at the deadline at the latest. Maybe, probably to get something for him, right? Maybe not. But I've been holding I've been hoping for him, Jokic, and I know Donovan Mitchell was there in that group too, but I don't think it's going to work with Luka at the helm.
Oh
And
my
him
gosh,
being,
you talk about bad defense with
yeah,
Mitchell and Harden,
yeah,
Mitchell and Luca.
yeah. But Harden's different. Harden is just yeah. Anyways,
Mitchell
the
does not play good.
uh,
Mitchell's a bad defender
the
himself
the
as well. Let's not
Lakers,
let's be
yeah,
honest.
the Lakers need a jolt from a star to come here on his own again, like LeBron did.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that star isn't going to have the ability to be available by his choice until next year, and that's Nikola Jokic. And I'm holding out for that a little bit because if he's not signing an extension, you have to be prepared for that. You have to be ready for that because the Lakers, should they, let's say, get a good idea that he's not going to sign an extension, and then you're talking about the Austin Reeves to Brooklyn for Michael Porter and whomever expiring contracts, and
I
maybe
say Sharp and Porter Jr. are both
and
expiring.
hopefully a first rounder in there or at least a couple seconds, then that'll work, right?
The seconds we could use, yeah.
Now, right now, you're going into next year again without money being tied up because they're expiring contracts. And if Jokic says, I'm going to test the market, you really think he's going to say no to Luka? Luka's going to be Magic when Magic was waiting outside LeBron's gate in 2018. I have to see what happens with that because that's the game changer for me. That's the reality of things for me. You get Luka and Jokic together. Now the league has a problem. That's a major problem for OKC, San Antonio, the Knicks. That is a problem. That is a bad problem for everyone. Knock on wood, they all stay healthy. Now, how the hell are you going to beat that? And if you think the NBA, I guess the ratings were off the charts.
Oh man, you just dropped the Jokic thing, and people are just like on a chat, Rob.
That's what happens when you read. See, people, when you read, you learn. But most of you don't read. I'm sorry, you do read the internet, but that doesn't count. Anybody can read garbage like your garbage. Garbage meets garbage. That's makes sense, I guess, for you. But there's a reason why there's contracts, and then there's stipulations in the contract that say this person can sign an extension, or it says they could opt out. Again, this is
he does have the ability to sign an extension this summer.
and I'm not, and I remember hearing a lot. Oh, Kevin Durant's not gonna. Oh, Golden State's gonna have some money to spend, and Durant's gonna be a free agent. Durant's not gonna go to the Golden State Warriors.
Well, we talked about last year when Jokic didn't sign it. I know that started that perk in your eye as far as it's concerned. But I said at that time,
this guy's probably the same guy. I think he's the same guy because they're all talking the same way.
Profiles. Yeah, profile hopper.
Your comments hold as much water as the shit out of people's asses in a toilet, by the way. So whatever different accounts that you have, it doesn't matter if you post it with 5 different names, 2 different names, or 1 name. You're a clown. You're stupid. You have no idea what you're talking about. This is what the contract says. This isn't what Joe Soros says. His contract says next year he can opt out and become a free agent.
Unless he signs an extension.
If he signs an extension, obviously that goes out the window. But as of right now, he has not signed the extension. You have to consider that an option. Not everything is created in 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 off season. This team is going to need to revamp, and it's going to probably take a while, maybe a year or 2. Once he signs that extension, then that goes out the window, but you have to be prepared for it. What do you want to do? You want to go sign a bunch of middle tier players and then all of a sudden Jokic is available and now he's like, well, how the hell am I going to come over? You guys don't have enough money. Is that what you want? Yeah, come over here and take it, motherfucker. Come over and take it. Come take the mic. I'll put it down your fucking throat. I can get another one. Don't talk like a tough guy over your phone. This planet has gotten too comfortable talking shit behind their fucking screen. Not enough of you are getting kicked in the fucking mouth for that mouth of yours because you're fucking cowards. You won't say it in front of people's faces. Oh, I'm sorry. You will if somebody's famous and rich so that you can sue them like the cowards you are even more. That you'll do. That you'll do. But you're
I'm just going to say
you're bums.
I'm just going to well, okay, yes, they're bums. I agree with you on that. But I think like them that the odds are long that will happen. He didn't sign in last year because he has, obviously I think I said $80 million more legend than what he did this time last year on extension if he signed it this year. And he's never indicated an unhappiness with Denver, although they are a notoriously thrifty. Yes, you could say cheap organization. Caleb Ponce, in my conversation with him earlier today, said yes, they're cheap. But I don't think they're ever cheap with Jokic himself. They will not sit there and undercut him at all. They'll throw whatever maximum deal they can to lock him up for the rest of his playing career, or most of it per se, as far as I'm concerned. The odds are heavily in favor of that. But if he shouldn't, or should decide he is going to not take it, which again, to those haters, I say the degree is very slight that happens. It will raise an eyebrow if that happens. But again, the odds are long, legend. But then again, who thought Luka was going to be traded as well?
Yeah, things can happen. I mean, at this point, I always refer back to that Luka trade now. Like, he never thought that would happen.
Your current finals MVP took $113 million less in New York. This never stuff needs to stop being. You got to wake up, people. This never stuff doesn't exist. Stuff happens. Luka's a Laker, for God's sakes. The man that loved Dallas. The man that just bought a $20 million, $30, whatever $million home. There is no such thing as this won't happen. Wake up. It happens. And it keeps happening. The finals MVP took $113 million less. And on top of that, he has to pay New York taxes too. On top of that. And they asked him that question. Was it worth it? He's like, hell fucking yeah. How much money do you need? After $10 million, it's all the same, by the way. Unless you're an idiot like Antoine Walker or Money Mayweather. Or I should call him No Money Mayweather.
Write a bad check, Mayweather, yes.
Writing bad checks. Yeah. All that money that I saw him carrying around with a bunch of fucking goons for him to pass bad check. Who the hell writes checks anyways these days?
For a watch.
Yeah.
Watches are fine. A lot of them are investments. But again, in the end, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with $100 million? What, are you gonna buy 7 mansions? For what? You have any idea what a headache it is to own shit? Too much shit? You have to have it cleaned, you have to pay property tax, you have to maintenance the yard. Like people have no fucking idea how much of a headache buying shit you don't need is. The older you get, the less you should have. Have a car, have a second car in case your first car needs to get fixed. That's my dilemma in my life, actually. Every time I have a fucking issue with a vehicle, I got to go fucking find another vehicle. So the thing is, this never stuff is getting it's nonsense. It's even more nonsense. It is happening. It already happened. His name is Luka Doncic, and he's an LA Laker. It's still weird saying that after what, 2 years now? Not even 2 years. A year and 4 months. So to say that a guy who did not sign an extension last year when he could have, and hasn't signed one as of today, we have to wait. You have to wait to see first. You don't want to go spend that money and then find out, oh shit, Jokic wants to test the market. Now what? I've never been a gang leader, guys. I am not a fighter. Fighting is a waste of time unless you're getting paid to do it.
No, you've been asked. You've been invited down a dark alley.
I'm not a gang. I'm a solo act. Okay, I work by myself 99% of the time. Vari's coming to visit, by the way, in July.
Really?
The Sports Baby's coming to visit in July. He's going to get the first. And I know Nick's a busy man, so he can't come hang out. Henry's a busy man as well, but Vari's going to be here for about a week. He's going to get a chance to hang out and see.
Is that a warning for us, or is that just letting us know? Do we need to just like make travel plans now to head on out? Never mind. Just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he's going to get a chance to actually see and live the day-to-day operation and how fun and great my life is. And by the way,
I don't read the WhatsApp very much, Sports Baby.
Well, just because I say my life is great doesn't mean I don't deal with challenges. That's not the point. Running a life, a family, of friends, and business, you're constantly plugging holes, leaks everywhere. That's the point. That's what the job of a man is. Job of a man is to solve problems, protect, provide, not go on a random podcast and call somebody a bozo behind a fucking screen like a coward. Call a bozo to his face. You want to be a tough guy? Call that guy a bozo to his face and see what happens. So being patient right now, I think as a Laker fan, is it probably something Laker fans want to hear? And mind you, I'm a Laker and a Dodger fan. And again, I want to thank the gentleman from Lake Elsinore, which isn't far from where I'm at, for selling me this hat. You have any idea how long I was waiting to find this? Look at this. How freaking perfect this hat is.
Sharp looking hat, man.
So this is the LA Laker color Dodger hat. This hat right here describes everything in terms of the fandom. Perfect hat. Got to have it fitted. Black, because black is my color. And then you got the logo and the colors. Everything. This is what describes who I am to a T. So when we talk about the Dodgers and we talk about the Lakers, unfortunately, I have to admit this, that Laker fandom, Dodger fandom are very, very obnoxious. And Dodger fans have gotten worse. They're starting to get worse than Laker fans. Maybe because the Lakers haven't been winning and people are getting humbled. But Dodger fans, a guy goes 0 for 4, he's washed. Doesn't matter who it is. It's like, dude, wake the fuck up. Like, shut up. Right? Like, enough already. And mind you, the Dodgers are breaking every record left and right. Their plus minus in runs is astronomical. Hell, they won 1-0. I love 1-0 wins, by the way. This is the second time this year they've done it. They have 9 shutouts, more than any team in the majors. We have become a instant gratification. I want it now, and I want it forever, today, no matter what. Or you're a bozo, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a hater. Well, the reason why I brought this up again is, you know how long I waited to get this, Gerald? And I think that's the problem with society, is you want everything now. But and when you're always given everything because your parents were weak, and they just wanted to shut you up because you wouldn't shut the fuck up. See, when I wanted something and I didn't shut the fuck up, you know what happened? I got smacked. Learned my lesson pretty quick. Appreciate the wait. I waited for this, so I appreciate it more. Appreciate stuff. Be happy that you're a Dodger fan. Be happy that you're a Laker fan. Yes, we get passionate. Yes, we're invested. We have to be invested. I mean, what are we going to do? Sit around for 6 months until the playoff starts in baseball? No. But at the same time, scale back a little bit after the fact. Be emotional maybe a little bit, but then scale back. The Dodgers have given their fandom 3 championships in the last 6 seasons, and they're on their way to get a 4. The Lakers have given the Laker fans in the last 26 years 6 championships. Could be worse. And that's it. That's all I got on that.
So before we head on out, and once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It's a snack pack, everyone. It's Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, along with Joe Sorrell from The Experiment, and me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe. That 5-star review really helps us well. I did want to go ahead and give a shout out, and I got to go do it on the next show because I keep promising Millions Podcast, but Millions Podcast has us rated in the top 100 shows as far as basketball podcasts are concerned. So thank you so much to Millions Podcasts for the stats that they run. We just happened to be ahead, and I couldn't believe I saw my eyes when I saw this, Legend, ahead of the Hoop Collective, as far as, just to give you an idea, as far as it's ESPN's, their premier basketball podcast. Yeah, they had us ahead of them. I don't know how, I don't know why, I did not bribe, but I'll take it. There you go, indeed. So before we head on out, my friend, I do want to go ahead. Thank you again, Tough. Appreciate it, Tough and Drip. Yeah. And they keep nagging me. So make sure you tell people Millions Podcasts. Okay. I got you. I'll remind myself to go ahead and do it. Just, we haven't had many shows lately, but I'll do it. Okay. And I'll even mention the time. So go ahead. It'll be in the description. I'll make sure I mention it. I'll even timestamp it for you guys. Okay. There you go. Indeed. So before we head on out, Legend, I want to go ahead and ask your thoughts on the NBA draft. You have 2 teams you've got to worry about. In fact, Thursday, guys, be here live because I'm going to have on Legend. I'm going to have on Matt John. I'm going to have on Caleb Ponce, and we're going to run our favorite teams. I may even have more through the draft and through the free agency as how we would run them. Transactions, trades, free agents, draft choices. We'll do it all right there coming up on Thursday. So with that said, Legend, reality is that they're probably not going to pick who you think or who you want to most likely. The odds are, most likely 50-50 or whatever you say. Because let's say, you would want to pick Darren Peterson, for say, because he seems to be, depending on who you talk to, slipping in the draft. Or AJ DeBanza or something like that. That's who, but most likely he is not going to be at where Atlanta or Golden State picks. But with that said, and I'm going to get Joe's thoughts on our draft choice with the Lakers. What are your thoughts in regards to who Atlanta and Golden State and who they might be interested in? Who will go ahead and pick on that? By the way, Sports Baby, guess who? The world champion New York Knicks pick right in front of us at number 25.
Man, if it was me, I know a lot, and I heard a lot of people really like this kid, but Golden State need a center. You need a young, athletic center. I'm going after Mara, if I can get Mara.
Ade Mara from Michigan, yes.
Yep, I would want him. Young center, something that we need. We need rim protection badly. Something we haven't had in God knows forever. That's what I would do. If I'm Golden State, you get a center. If he's available, get him. Get him to Golden State. The Hawks, I want to think a little bit more about what the Hawks should do. Well, I know something I kind of wouldn't mind doing is, I know our number 1 draft pick kind of been kind of bad, pretty much bad. Maybe find us another point guard. or get just adding more and more guards in the squad. But I'll probably look for a point guard, probably a point guard just to make up for Zachary just not really working out that well. Wouldn't be surprised they move off of him this summer. But I would probably look for another point guard just to make up for Zachary's performance. So that I might do that in the draft at this point.
Okay. So that's who you go for both Atlanta and Golden State right now. Is that correct?
That's correct. Go for Mara for Golden State and find a good point guard to make up to replace Zachary.
The thing is, though, right in that area, you're just after where there's like 4 guards in a row that are projected between 5 and 8. So if one of those teams above you makes a trade or whatnot, and they pick like a Nate Ament or a Adamara moves up for some reason, that could bring like a Darius Acuff or a Kingston Fleming within the range of Atlanta.
Right. Which, and I think, if I remember, I think Flemings is from Georgia too. So that's might not be a bad choice too. If he's available to bring him back home. I always love to bring guys who like back home, you know, the area, you'd be happy to play for the Hawks. So not a bad way to get another guard.
Well, if you get enough defenders on Atlanta's team, man, I just tell you, Darius Acuff would light it up for you guys. Just similar to what CJ McCollum. See, he reminds me a lot of CJ McCollum as far as that's concerned. So I really would think that Darius Acuff would be a pretty good player indeed. So Joe, who do you have in mind for the Lakers at number 25?
No idea. I have no idea. 25.
Why not? Have you been doing any type of research or anything of that nature?
Picking
you haven't
that
been listening
late,
to Lakers' latest, providing you a draft profile of the 20 players in and around that area for the past month?
Picking that late,
God forbid,
is like trying to predict just anything. Predict any draft in the first round. How do you know how anything's going to play out? If it was the top 5, 10, yeah, you could figure out something there. But looking at the needs of what the needs, looking at what's likely to go out in front of them, and the fact that I can't watch college basketball as much as I wish I could. It's very hard for me to go, oh yeah, this is going to be the guy because he's likely going to drop. I don't know what the hell these guys are thinking. No idea. Zero. Is it going to be Dalen Swain? Is it going to be, I don't know, Malik Thomas? I don't know. Alan Graves maybe out of Santa Clara. It seems like a lot of times, you think about Santa Clara and you go, is that the kind of player that you're going to get? Some kind of a Kurt Rambis. That's where Kurt Rambis went, right? And I just don't know enough at this moment to make a logical assessment. And obviously, where they're picking, it's just too difficult to kind of figure out what they're going to do. And I also want to see how their process is going to be set up. I'm fairly confident that it's not going to be Rob Pelinka that's going to be pulling the trigger here, no matter what the hell his position is.
Well, Tony Bennett was brought in as the draft advisor.
Tony Bennett will assess the tenor of the players that could be involved. Are they looking at fit? Are they looking at fit? Do they do that in basketball? Is that possible? Because I'm a firm believer in best player available with basketball. It's too hard to, unless he's a complete buffoon, and of course they're worried about him going AWOL like a Whitmore, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't have a clue how this is going to play out. As far as the positions that need to be drafted, the center position, since you guys are talking about it, I think it makes sense because I'm crossing my fingers that Ayton opts out, and I think he still will. The reason why Ayton needs to go is he drains the emotional energy out of the team when he does what he does. And he did that toward the end of the year. They needed him to be effective, to have a chance. And he was absolutely zero chance. And I don't see what a center in this case right now. What's the center going to be? What center is going to make a difference other than Jokic at this point? That's where I stand on that. We saw arguably the best center. Would you say Wemby's the best center right now in the league? Or
I
is it
could go.
Jokic?
Well, I would still, as a refined, you could say Jokic.
Let's say
Jokic.
let's say Wemby's the second best center in the league right now.
Mhm.
This is supposed to be the second best. I'm sorry, I can't go off the youth thing here. I'm talking about the skills, and he was rendered ineffective. He might have been too soft to play down low. He might have been too scared to go to the basket. And it would make sense. He barely played 65 games this year. He plays scared, like most of these guys do. Everybody plays scared. And when you play scared, you're always going to open things up for problems. So I don't know if necessarily this league is going to allow a center that's not Jokic playing with Luka to be effective anymore.
I'll say this from again, if you guys are checking out Lakers latest, I've been doing a draft profile for the past month, profiling the top 20 or 25 players between picks number 15 and 35 in that range, as far as a ton of players that were projected in that area. I've been covering each and every one of them that the Lakers would possibly or could possibly get. I know that in a lot of projections and mock drafts right now, the Lakers are looking to pick a center, a big man like Henry Vassar out of North Carolina, a good shooter from distance, but has some real defensive concerns as a 7-footer. Jaden Quaintance, if he drops due to his knee concerns, because he's coming off of a ACL injury in his first year and could not even get through 5 games in his second year. He is a beast, though, at 6'10", 250 and really strong. But Joe right now sitting down on his chair could shoot better free throws than he can, because he's just absolutely. You think Mitchell Robinson is bad? Jaden Quaintance, according to what we see statistically, could do that as well. But my hope, well, let me just finish real quick, Joe. My hope, based on all those projections that I've talked to you about, that all those stuff on Lakers latest that I've talked to you about, all those draft projections and things of that nature, I would probably lean, because of the athleticism and the fact near 7 foot, and that he can hybrid for you as a 7 foot, 240-pound player between 4 and 5, and defensively and rebounding wise could cure a lot of ills. I would choose Chris Senac Jr. And that's just my deal. If I had that pick and he was available there, I do know, according to some mock boards I see, as far as concerned, he is around 24, 25. He tested and exceeded above average on almost everything at the draft process, as far as height, length, standing reach, athleticism, leaping ability, agility, all above board. And those kind of things you cannot teach. And the fact is, again, he's someone who can maybe start to stretch that out a little bit as a guy who could stretch it out, but mainly he's going to be a beast for you underneath, and a guy with size and strength and agility as well. And he comes from a defensive mindset in Houston, where they really focus on the defensive side of the ball, Joe. And that's who I would choose if I had a chance.
I don't think going after a big is going to be the smart move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think bigs hold a lot of water anymore in the league. I think they're complementary players, and at 25, that could very well be the complement. And if you're gonna get a center, Gerald, there's 2 things that center has to do. at the very least. If that is what the best player at that point is he has to be able to rebound and he has to be able to hit free throws. I'm not expecting him to be a shooting.
Oh yeah,
center.
then you better not get close. Because when I think of Jaden Quaintance, man, my friend, I even said on that show. See, I wish you would look at that sometimes, because I mentioned you a lot on that show, and I said, you want to give my friend a heart attack, draft Jaden Quaintance, because it will give Joe a heart attack.
Well, even when you think about where let's say Michigan went, winning the championship. There's a lot of Michigan players that are going to. It almost looks like Alabama in football. Like there's I think 4 players projected in the top 20 from just Michigan, right? So you got, let's say, someone like let's talk about it big. Let's say
Lorenz Johnson Jr. pops down there. Yeah, I'm all over that as well. Yeah,
right. He might be the best Michigan player out of this draft.
He won't last. He won't be there. I can guarantee you.
But then you look at somebody like Ade Mara, right? This big guy, but he can't shoot free throws either.
He was there at one time, Joe. Yeah. Not there anymore.
Right. But is he that, like, the fact that he's going to be he's going to be a lottery pick who can't hit free throws?
Zach Edey. Remember Zach Edey went skyrocketing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a bad pick at that time. Ade is not a lottery pick. He's not. It's a stretch. If he was hitting free throws and could hit a jump shot, yeah. But he doesn't. And is he going to block shots? Is he going to be Zubac? How many times did I see Zubac play his 20-10 game against the Lakers, and the Lakers were still in the game? Like, there's the stats from a center don't translate well to winning all the time in the NBA anymore. It just doesn't. So looking at some of the mocks, looking at the realistic players that would be available in the middle of the 20s there where the Lakers sit, it's going to have to be likely a forward, much like how Oklahoma City has been drafting. I think you got to really see that more. Try to go get an Isaiah Joe, even though he was a free agent. You got to find those type of players at 25 where, let's get to the basics. You got somebody that can cover coming out of school, right out of the gate. They could play defense. They might not be able to shoot, but they can maybe get to the rim, and hopefully they're healthy. Adu was kind of that guy, right? The guy that can be athletic and get to the basket. So that's step one. The problem is we don't know if this guy's going to stay healthy yet. Hopefully he stays healthy.
Or they need more an offensive game.
Well, the offensive game will come in terms of will he be one of those guys that makes that part of his development? The development resources will be there. We know that with this new regime, they're going to have the resources. Can this person get better? That's on them. And you don't know that. But I do feel that they're going to have the resources to assess the mental acumen of these guys and say, yeah, this guy looks like he's going to be one of those guys in the next 2-3 years that's going to have a jump shot that's been developed. He'll be someone that can help. He's already got the defense. He's already got the athleticism. The Lakers need athletes, Gerald. They need somebody that can rebound and play defense right now.
To me, Chris Sinek fits that bill for you.
They have to get those guys, and they have to get forwards that rebound. I don't think centers are going to help.
6'11".
It's a luxury. The center is going to be the luxury. I don't think it's ever going to be the key position anymore. It's just not. I just don't see it right now.
Well,
look at Chet. Look what happened with Chet. Look what happened with. Look. Okay, here. Hartenstein gets traded to Oklahoma City, right? But Oklahoma City wins last year. But you could say the Knicks got better without him, right? The center position is it's the running back of basketball. It's a luxury. If you have it, cool. If not, more often than not, they get in the way. Just how the rules have been set up and how the game has changed.
So that's our thoughts, guys. What I'm looking at, if everything went right, which probably it won't, again, because I think even though Sam Vecini, draft expert, has him pegged as 25th as far as overall, and several other drafts have them probably right in and around the 18 to 22 mark. I don't think he'll last beyond that. So I think it'll be another player like Henry Vassar has been talked about, but again, defensive questions are there. Also as well, I know Jaden Quaidon's knee questions and health questions are there. And then also as well, we talked about Dalen Swain. There's other players around the perimeter. The Lakers, like you said, Joe, have to just get it right at number 25 and get someone who can be an effective player and make an impact on both ends of the floor for the Lakers, either in a rotation role or a starting role yet to come.
Yeah, it's not immediate impact is seasoned stars. Can they get Giannis? Can they get Jokic if he doesn't sign his extension next year? Those are the big fish that could instantly change the team. But if they don't, they're going to have to spend, they have to make sure that this pick this year is a big part of the next regime's transition. And then next year, they cannot miss in these next two drafts. And if they can get one productive player in free agency, someone that really makes an impact defensively, it can be relied on to make shots in each of the next free agent summers. You then have four players, let's say 2 in the first round each year, and then 2 in free agency. Now you have 4 players that are going to make your team better than it was this year to help Luka. And then if you can somehow sneak in one star in there, whoever it is, now you've built something.
So with that said, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Haters aside, you guys have been great in the chat. Serge, thank you so much. And Vari, thank you so much for heading it up as far as our mods are concerned. Tough, I think I made you a mod as well the other day. So let me know if you still have issues on that as far as it's concerned. If that's cool with you, Serge, because Tough's a really nice guy. So just saying, I forgot to mention that to you, Serge. That was my bad on that. So, but Tough's a really nice guy, and he's really easy to get along with. So, it could be he'd be as a support team member, be okay for you on that in your absence, if that's the case. But Serge is the best at what he does. Absolutely, yeah. There you go. Tough is dope. There you go. Okay, good. That's the blessing I needed. So, again, it is of course the Lakers fast break. Big shout out to Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead and check him out there. Check out Joe at the Joe Sorrell Experiment and his William Peterson profile right there for you. Also, as well, don't forget, of course, at Drip Show Shop, wherever you get your social media for all your good stuff. DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, also right there for you as well. He's in the chat as well. And don't forget, I've got NBA Observations with Caleb Ponce already available for members. If you want to go ahead and check it out after we're done here right now, it's ready and waiting for you, unless you want to wait until it comes out later on Wednesday. And then I've also got another interview with Matt John also coming up as well for NBA Observations, and hopefully one later this week with Legend. But a special Thursday night live coming at you. I think 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific is what I'm shooting for. That is where I run the Lakers. Legend runs Atlanta and Golden State. Matt John is running Utah and Boston. Caleb Ponce is running Oklahoma City. And if anybody else wants to jump in with their teams, hit me up at Lakers Fast Break and we'll get you on as well, where we navigate our teams through the draft and free agency and how we would like to shape our teams as well. All right. So looking forward to that. Joe, you've got the Dodgers on the mind. They're just navigating their way through the season and doing actually a better job than last year. I will not sit here and chide you all year with the relief pitching like I did last year, because it's actually
awesome,
much better this time around, despite the injuries. But any last thoughts, my friend, on what's going on before we head out?
Well, the Dodgers are a half game away from having the best record in the league. Last year, the Dodgers hit the skids right around 4th of July. So we'll wait to see how that plays out. Expect the All-Star game to have essentially half Dodgers, half Atlanta Braves with a couple sprinkles of some other guys in there. So this is going to be a Dodger, Atlanta Braves, NL All-Star team that's looking like. The league should have taken out the Dodgers last year. I think that was the opening. I really think that was the opening. The scary part about the next 6 weeks is will Andrew Friedman say, let's put the boot on the throat of everyone and trade for Tarek Skubal.
You've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah,
I would love to see the Dodgers get that Milwaukee.
and that would be. I'm not trying to act like I know who Andrew is, but I don't think there's a bigger FU to everyone than getting Skubal.
I'd still love to get that Milwaukee kid, my friend.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mizorowski's obviously he's going into a whole different stratosphere at this point. But the question that needs to be asked, if you were to put yourself in a position of power with the Dodgers, which is Andrew Friedman, is do you almost, because there's no 100% guarantee, but do you really get to maybe 95% guarantee that you're going to three-peat by getting Tarek Skubal? If Tarek Skubal pitches really well the next month.
Oh yeah, Skubal's great. Yeah,
right. If he's pitching really well, because he had this little, what do they call the bodies, the loose bodies? That's what they call it now.
Mm-hmm.
You go get him. Now you have a set of 4 guys, because you only really need 4 starters in the playoffs comfortably. So you'd have Skubal, you'd have Yamamoto, you'd have Ohtani, and then I'm pretty comfortable in saying Snell's going to be back. And then, by the way, you haven't mentioned Glass now yet. Robleski's going to be an all-star, it looks like. Sheehan is a good 6th starter. River Ryan isn't even here yet, but I think he'd be in the Tarek Skubal deal if I had to take a guess. So that's the question you got to ask yourself. Skubal, Yamamoto, Ohtani. Oh, and by the way, you have Roki in there too. So, I mean, you're setting this thing up so that you have no shot. And if Diaz gets back and he does Diaz things, now you have the 7th, 8th, and 9th guys being essentially, if you want to go left, you got Vesia. If you want to go right, you got Hurt. If you want to go right in the 8th inning, you can put in Klein, and then you can put in Tanner Scott at 8, and then you have your closer in Diaz at 9 at the 9th inning. It's so stacked to the point where you just tell everyone we're not losing a 3-peat. This is just not a normal thing. It's so abnormal, Gerald, that in the history of the existence of Major League Baseball, which I'm going to go just to 1903, because that's when the AL was created. And at that time, the AL was a separate league. It wasn't Major League Baseball. It was the AL and the NL. The NL had started, I believe, in 1869. 1869, the AL came in, and then that's when they created the first World Series in 1903. So really, the existence of what Major League Baseball is as we know it now really started 123 years ago. So since then, there has never been a 3-peat in the National League. It's only been the Oakland A's once. The Yankees have done it 3 times in 3 separate eras. That's it. So the Dodgers have a chance at mega history here to three-peat as the first National League team. To three-peat in an era that there isn't any argument by anyone who knows baseball that this every year that Major League Baseball exists is harder and harder each and every year it grows. You just mentioned Mizorowski out of Milwaukee. This guy is throwing 100 miles an hour 75% of the time during the game. That's ridiculous. I don't even think Nolan Ryan was doing that. He may have a few games, but the fact that this guy's doing it every game is nuts. So to three-peat in an era where analytics, numbers, strategy is at its peak, it will cement an argument that this could be the greatest dynasty that was ever created. Even though the Yankees won 5 in a row one year, they won 4 in a row. I'm sorry, not 1 year. 5 in a row, one era. I believe it was 1949 through 54. 49 through 54, they won 5 in a row. Before then, they won 4 in a row. And then they three-peated in the late 90s into the 2000s. So all that, you have a team now that would need to win. It's looking like they're probably going to get one of the two top seeds. So they're not going to be in a wild card game like the wild card series like they were last year. So they're probably going to need 11 wins to win it this year again, which would, in that 3-year span, would be 35 wins to win 3 straight. To put that in perspective, the Yankees, when they 5-peated, only had to win 20 games. So the Dodgers will have almost double that number to win 3 in a row. So you put them in that category, and there's an argument. Not because I'm a Dodger fan; it's a legitimate argument. And Ohtani Ohtani has probably already cemented this, but if he wins a Cy Young, he's going to win MVP. There's just not a doubt he's not going to win the MVP again. But if he wins a Cy Young and an MVP and wins a championship, it's no longer even an argument anymore. You can't really say Babe Ruth anymore, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds. It's over. Like 3 years in a row you win, and you win 3 MVPs. Even if he doesn't win the Cy Young, 3 straight MVPs, 3 straight championships. Mix in a Cy Young or mix in, let's say, a World Series MVP to boot, it's over. It's a done deal. It's over. There isn't an argument. He's the greatest baseball player that's ever lived. And you might start to be able to start talking about him being the greatest athlete that's ever lived. Not saying that he's number one. No, not yet. He's got to finish his career first. But the argument as the greatest athlete ever that's ever played in any sport, bigger than Muhammad Ali, Jordan, all those guys, there's an argument there. And there's already an argument now, but it starts to get really like next level at that point. Like when you start winning championships, that's when things start to change. Babe Ruth won 7 championships. Michael Jordan won 6 championships. Kareem won 6 championships. Muhammad Ali was, at that time, I know it's not the norm now, but winning 3 championships 3 times, winning the heavyweight championship 3 times at that time was ridiculously rare. It didn't happen. Ty Cobb's a good one too, Search. Thank you for that. Ty Cobb arguably was probably the first great number 1 athlete in sports at that time. So yeah, it's God rest his soul, man. My dad really did us a solid, man. He did me a solid by following the teams he followed, because I was talking about Troy Polamalu today. I've been talking about Troy Polamalu a lot lately. I don't know what's going on with Troy. Seems just the discussion with Troy Polamalu has been coming up a lot lately. But the fact that I was able to watch something, we watched a shooting star we're never going to see again, ever see again. and he happened to play on my team, my favorite team, and not only did he play amazing, but they won, and they won more than once. That's what you call fortunate. I'm telling you, we're so fortunate to be a Steeler, Dodger, Laker fan. I can't say enough how much fun it is that I grew up a diehard in those three teams, and everything from here on out is still just gravy, right? I mean, seeing 6 NBA championships, four World Series, the '88 World Series was something that's very vivid in my memory, so I count that, even though it was only 10. 2 Super Bowl wins. Hey, man, it's good. It's good. Life is good right now in the sports world. Game on the line. Who are you giving the ball to, Joe, Yamamoto, or Ohtani? Who shit? It's a good question. Ask me that question after this year, JY. Because we did see Ohtani close out the WBC. Yamamoto closed out Toronto. As of right now, from a pitching standpoint, I guess I have to go with Yamamoto. Yamamoto is another run, I think, from another playoff win, another playoff dominant run from probably being in that category of the clutchest pitcher of all time. Gerald, am I being too?
No,
I don't know if
being
I'm being. I don't know if I'm being too hyperbolic. I don't. But I've never seen this. You've seen Bumgarner pitch well for, let's say, one World Series run, and then really took everybody on his back for the other. I saw Mariano Rivera, but he's a relief pitcher. He's a closer. Could you say Andy Pettitte? Andy Pettitte has more wins as a pitcher than anyone ever in playoff history, right?
Yep.
So, but has anybody done it 3 years in a row like this? Yamamoto is 7-1 in the first 2 playoff runs. So let's say if he pitches, I don't know, 4 times this next run and he wins 3 of them, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, I guess I'd have to go with Yamamoto. But Ohtani closed out the Brewers with 10 strikeouts, no runs, and then threw in 3 home runs to boot. Like, how does that even happen? I still don't understand how that isn't talked about more. I think that's what happens when you're that good. You're so good. They're like, I wonder why he didn't hit 4. I've been catching myself like, God, why does he strike out so much? And then he hits a home run. They win 1-0 today. And he's going to pitch tomorrow to possibly sweep the Rays. I don't think we're going to appreciate Ohtani until he's retired. I really, really believe that. I think we get used to stuff. We've gotten used to it. We got used to flying from LA to New York in 6 hours. Back in the day when you told people that, hey, you could be in New York from LA in 6 hours on a flying vehicle, they'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing. But after a while, you get used to it, right? It becomes the norm. Ohtani's become the norm. So much so that I see criticism when Ohtani has a bad inning. Oh, he's not as good as we think he is. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Really? So I'm just trying to enjoy the season as much as I can. I'm invested in it. I'm trying to, be normal, not thinking about that they're back-to-back champions now. I'm thinking, let's just focus on this year as a fan base. Don't do stupid things. Let's see if they can win it all again. 3-peat, and then we're going to have shows for the next decade on which 3-peat team is better, the LA Dodgers of the 24, 25, 26 season, or the 3-peat team of the Lakers in 2000, 2001, and 2002. I think that'll be a fun segment. That could be 3-4 hours. I can't wait. I would love to have that discussion.
And right now, again, I know that was made earlier as far, I think JY asked, as far as Atlanta is concerned. Atlanta actually doesn't have as many wins. The Dodgers have more wins than anybody in baseball, even though they're a half game behind still Atlanta. But yeah, they could take over that
Yeah,
lead.
Atlanta they were playing the Giants, and their game got suspended due to, I believe, rain, and the Dodgers ended up passing them for most wins in the majors. But the Dodgers have played 3 more games than Atlanta at the moment.
So right now they're just a couple 13 percentage points behind, but the inevitable will happen indeed. But don't forget Joe Soro on the Joe Soro Experiment. Also, as well, don't forget Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Our good friend Drip Show at Drip Show Shop right there for you on social media. Of course, DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He's rooting for the Dodgers and Lakers. Yo, so go ahead and make sure. Truly appreciate, of course, not only him and his support. Go ahead and check out his channel, but also the super chat and renewing for a 20th month on the membership as well. But thank you so much again for everyone out there for all the great comments, haters aside, from SB to, of course, the Mod Extreme, Search and Destroy himself, Thameless, JY, JSJ. You didn't even yell at JSJ today, so that must have been a good day for JSJ. So there you go. You wasn't on your bad side today, so that's something at least. So yeah.
The Dodgers versus the Jeter Yankees. Really, Thameless. Because I didn't see the Murderers Row Yankees. I didn't see the Mickey Mantle Yankees. That's the only comparison I can make because I remember those Yankee teams. I remember those years vividly. That's really the only team I can compare them to, and say I can argue something with it. Those Yankee teams are amazing. The teams that won 4 out of 5 in the late 90s. And because it's Jeter, Jeter was he's not Ohtani, he wasn't even A-Rod, but Jeter had Jeter's will to win, Jeter's leadership to win, Jeter's ability to hone in on the New York culture and then the Yankee culture and embrace it and come through and be clutch and be its image. That has to mean something. It has to mean something, and it did. The Tino Martinez's were better. The Scott Brosius's were better. The Andy Pettitts, the Bernie Williams, the Mariano Rivera, Posadas, all these guys you could say are very similar to what the Dodgers are now. The guy like Teo and Freeman and Ohtani and these guys, even though I think the Dodgers have better players than those Yankee teams, but the aura and the chemistry is the exact same. Exact same. And I don't think you could argue against one or the other. I mean, you have a legitimate argument with the other. Oh, well, no. The Yankees of the late 90s were better than the Dodgers of now. You have an argument there. But where it starts to change is what happens after the three-peat. Because right now, if the Dodgers three-peat, that'll be 4 and 7 years. And this particular era is a little bit more difficult than the 90s. It is what it is. Not as much as it was in the 80s, 70s, 60s, but a little bit harder now than it was in the late 90s. But the Yankees have won 4 out of 5. They won 4 out of 5 in that era. The Dodgers, if they win this year, will have won 4 out of 7. However, this team is more equipped to keep winning than the Yankees were after 2001. After they lost to Arizona and missed out on a 4-peat, they were still winning, but they weren't able to get over the hump. This team, in my view, I would be in shock if during the 10-year run that Ohtani doesn't win 6 championships out of the 10. I would be shocked. So that means if they win this year, they have 3 left for the next 7 years. And I think that's a realistic number because I don't think they're going to win 6, 7, 8 in a row. I don't think that's likely. It's just not. I do think there's a chance if they win this shit that they could four-peat. Why? And this is the stuff that I can't wait for, is there will be a lockout, and I'm praying that it ends up being like a 80-game season. The Dodgers four-peat, and man, the amount of whining that we're going to hear again if they were to four-peat only playing 80 games. Oh, it'd be so much fun to hear that story, just like we heard the story about the 60. So yeah, a lot of good things there.
And we'll see what's coming up indeed for the Dodgers and also the Lakers as well. Remember, we've got NBA observations for you guys coming on the way for tomorrow, or actually it's already tomorrow, today. Also as well, Lakers latest I got for you on that channel every day, plus also a big live show on Thursday. And then, of course, next Tuesday, you were asking for it, Sports Baby. We are doing a live NBA draft show Tuesday night starting at 5 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. I do know that Caleb said he was going to try and make it. Legend's going to say trying to make it as well for the NBA live draft show. And I have a feeling Joe will chime in as well. We're always had good times when Joe and I are on the air when the Lakers pick and see, or as the gets closer and closer to the Lakers picking indeed. So definitely looking forward to it. I've invited John, who is actually out and about as a Zoom executive. So I did hear back from him finally indeed. So again, it is, of course, Joe from Joe Sorrell, the Joe Sorrell Experiment, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Thamos says, why would we actually lose players with a salary cap, or would they let current contracts run their course? Want to touch on that one, Joe?
On what?
That what Thamos says, he's saying what would we actually lose players with a salary cap, or would they let current contracts run their course?
I don't know how that would set up. I don't know if those guys, there would have to be a phase out process. I don't know if the amnesty thing would be something that they could do to amnesty the certain players that they don't want. I know they did that in the NBA a few times. However, I'm going to say this, and I'm fully like in on this 100%. There will not be a salary cap in baseball. It never will.
You heard it.
There will never be a salary cap. I think the compromise is going to be maybe more revenue sharing, maybe the ability for teams to maybe not have as much freelance deferred money, whatever. And by the way, all that stuff doesn't mean shit. For those of you that don't know, the deferred money is actually a benefit for the owners because they get to actually use that money to make money until they have to pay it out. And it helps the player, which is part of the process of, well, we don't want this to happen because there's an advantage. When you defer your money, you don't have to be paid that money in, let's say, California or New York. It's wherever you reside. So now if you buy a house in Florida and you get your money 10 years from now for the 10 years after that, it's based off of your primary residence. So you can be in Florida and not have to pay that state tax, income tax, whatever. That's a benefit for somebody, especially if it's somebody like Ohtani or some of these guys are getting paid so much money. Like, why would you give that money to the state of California or the state of New York when you don't have to? Just hold on to it, get it paid later. You ever notice this, Gerald, how baseball players, you don't hear, I'm sure there has been, but you don't really hear a lot of baseball players going broke. You ever wonder why? Because they have the greatest union in America. Their benefits, their setup is second to none. And you're telling me that the fact that they've piled away $450 million for this lockout, you're telling me these guys aren't ready to tell everybody you ain't changing shit from the salary cap side of things? Most people who talk about stuff, and I'm going to say this again, people don't like some schmuck like me on the radio telling them who they are. It bothers them, even if they don't say anything. And then when they say something, that's when the old comment of hit a nerve, hit a target. These schmucks that were on here are classic hit a nerve, hit a target. They don't like me. They don't give a shit about Austin Reeves. They don't like me saying things that they don't want to hear. And the way I say it, because I come off arrogant, I come off narcissistic, I come off belligerent, I come off however you want. And your interpretation on that is valid because it's you. You're thinking that. That's your assessment on that. I don't feel like I'm being narcissistic or being whatever. Negative. I'm just telling you what's up. But it bothers people. That's just how people are. They don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to be maybe talked down to. But when you're stupid, you should be talked down to because no one's doing that enough for you to tell you that you're an idiot and you don't know shit. So with that, the future of Major League Baseball will be without a salary cap, never will be. The owners are going to have to make a choice like they have the last few times in saying, look, we'll take what we can get. Fine, we won't do a salary cap again. We just don't know. Will it be 60 games in, 80 games in? I think looking at it from an optimistic standpoint, maybe they'll have a 100-game season. So the Dodgers may have a championship in a 60-game season, and then maybe have a 102-game season next year. They'd win 2 championships in a 162-game combination. I like that. I think that's fun. Again, we'll start hearing all the whining and crying because losers always cry when the winners are winning. There's an excuse. We talked about this with LeBron. LeBron never earned a championship according to his haters. Oh, it was only 66-game season when he won in 2012. The only reason why he won in 13 was because Ray Allen had a shot. Oh, the only reason why you won in 2016 is because Draymond Green got suspended, even though he was a fucking idiot and deserved it. Oh, 2020 was a bubble. Like, okay, so what has to happen for you to, quote unquote, earn a championship? You have to win every game in the regular season, win every game in the playoffs, win every game by 50, and be the only guy that's on the team and 4 other guys that are G League players, right? That's the only way you can win, to earn it. Is that how it works, Gerald? I'm not making this stuff up. This is stuff that has been said. I'm not making it up. You all know I'm not, Gerald's not, we are not sycophant LeBron fans. I have admitted this last 6 months that I have become a fan of LeBron, but I'm not a sycophant. I'm not a apologist for him in any way. I just thought at some point greatness will hit you in the face sometimes and it wakes you up. Like, man, this guy's doing stuff that is unreal and you have to respect it. And he's playing for the Lakers. How much more can we not respect it? Can't. Gotta respect it. But the nonsense is always going to be there. You saw it tonight with, the bozos that were coming on. And you don't want to believe any championship's legitimate, then okay, we might have go talk to the Redskins in 1982, go talk to the Giants in 1987, go talk to San Antonio in 1999. Who else? We want to talk about 2021. What about 2021? Wasn't there only 72 games that year, Gerald, when Milwaukee won? How about we have a perfect everything, and then it counts? Everything has to be perfect. 9/11 doesn't count. 2001 doesn't count, right? They had to postpone games, and they had to whatever. Like, at some point, your stupidity should not even be recognized. You should just be ignored and told to just fuck off because you're useless. Everybody played by the same rules. The only championship I'm just going to stick to this decade because I'm not going to get on this. We're supposed to go now. But the only championship, really, and actually two, the only championships that should have been stripped is 17 and 18. The Astros and the Red Sox. Those guys were bona fide, 100% proven that they cheated. And I'm not talking about stealing signs. Stealing signs from a pitcher tipping his pitches is not cheating. That's your dumbass pitcher tipping his pitches. Don't tip your pitches. You're not going to go play poker and say, well, it's cheating because you saw him scratch his nose every time he had a good hand. No, that's part of the game. But when you're using technology, wiring, yeah, that's a different game. So other than the Astros in 17 and the Red Sox in 18, everybody played by the same rules. So get over it. Focus on greatness. And let's three-peat.
Don't get me started, Drip, on Steve Ballmer, because that's something, again, this is the time he needs to go ahead and Adam Silver needs to come up with the decision here before the draft, so we can take some away 5 of those draft picks from the Clippers, because they did some nasty stuff, and they need to go ahead and pay the price for it. And Kawhi become a free agent, having his contract taken away from him and all that 9-yard stuff. So they need to throw the book. They need to send a message. And if they don't, you will hear about it right here on this show. And I'll leave it at that. So with that, it is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening, along with Joe Sorrell, the Joe Sorrell Experiment. Please also give a shout out and a like and a subscribe to my friend Legend, who was here until 2 o'clock in the morning, his time, for your entertainment and informational purposes. Please make sure you like and subscribe, of course, right there for him at I Got Next Sports Media. And make sure you like and subscribe and hit that 5-star review for us as well. Trip Show says we actually need the Clippers to get away with it, so Mark Walter can... No, let's not go down that road. Let's not go down that road, Drip, because everybody will have these shell corporations with funneling millions for star players. Yeah, that's just yeah. Trojan says, are we high on Walker Kessler? Well, he would be an improvement above and beyond DeAndre Ayton. But what he may be turning down as a contract from Utah reportedly, and having some issues there, I don't know. I would pay him beyond $25 million a year. I think that you're getting a little bit, he's asking for a lot. He's asking for a lot. So, that much beyond DeAndre Ayton, I understand it. So I understand your concern, Trojan. But we're going to have to see how this drama plays out, because he's a restricted free agent. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about that on the Lakers latest. And also, I've got Matt John, who covers the Utah Jazz, here on an upcoming NBA Observations. That specifically we are going to talk about as well. All right, Joe. Appreciate you being on till 12:30 in the morning. You guys got us back for 2.5 hours. You're going to have more of us here in the not too distant future with Lakers Fast Breaks here coming up here more frequently, I should say. So look forward to that. But thanks again, everyone, for stopping by and spending a little time of your day with us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Joe Sorrell, Gerald Glassford, truly appreciate you watching and listening. We will be back with more great basketball and Lakers talk right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. No words of wisdom before we head on out?
There's no music.
It's the snack pack. You know, it's a guy crunching on a snack pack.
No. Could be a woman.
You've only heard this. Oh, you've only heard this intro.